Morning, ladies and germs. Alternate side parking today, January 2nd. It's Thursday. It's 9:30 a.m. I'm here at the Bonneville with my Bonneville. I got to do an oil change, but before I do an oil change, I'm gonna explain a few things in here. Alternate side parking. Usually, we're supposed to move our vehicles or bikes. I don't move my bikes because I sweep around here. Regardless of it, even if I move them, the sweep won't be able to get in here because of the construction work. So I usually just sweep around it, and I leave the bikes where they are. I don't get bothered. But I'm gonna do an oil change today on the bike. I'm forced to do an oil change on the bike today on this Bonneville T100 2013 fuel injected, because I have an oil leak. The oil filter, this thing in here, I'm not sure if you can see it well, but this thing in here is dripping. I think the nut bolt, it's broken or loose or whatever. I tightened it up before, but it's still leaking. So as you can see over there, I just started the bike. I warmed it up a little bit so I can have a warm oil, so I can do an oil change. I'm using, as always, liquid moly. I use the same oil on the BMW F700 GS. I'm using the same oil on the 800 GS Adventure right now, both 2017. That's it. And then I believe that oil filter over there, it's a K&N. So I'm gonna swap. I'm gonna switch to a high flow filter, oil filter. I've heard stories before, but people say, like, the nut. I'm using the nut, by the way, with a nut to tighten easier, simplify my life. But they say that the problem with that is that that's exactly the problem. It leaks oil from the nut bolt. So I did not believe it. I usually don't believe until it happens to me. So I like to try it and test the waters. But apparently that thing is leaking right now. So it's underneath the bike. I'm not sure if a rock hit it or whatever and caused a leak. I doubt it, but it's leaking. So once I take it off, I'll figure it out why it's leaking. But upon inspecting, visual inspection, it looks like the nut, it's a little bit bent, like opened up on the other side. Unfortunately, you cannot see it right now because it's kind of dark. I mean, we can try and see it, but it's kind of dark. And yeah, so it's leaking from the oil. I thought it was leaking from something else, maybe a oil pan or whatever. So I'm wiping it every time I start the bike. It drips the oil right now. The oil level, it's somewhere in there. I mean, the bike, it's not level, but anyway, so it looks like there's not much oil in there, but there is oil, I hope. So I don't ride this bike much. The missus who uses this bike a lot, she used to, but we're not using it for the moment because of that reason. It's leaking oil. So right now I'm gonna do an oil change. It needs a 17 nut. This is not a tutorial or whatever, but for what it's worth, the drain plug, it's somewhere in here. Like the drain plug, that's the drain plug. It takes a 14 millimeter torque specs. I believe that's a 22. The drain plug, and the 18 or something. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about it. So don't quote me on those things. I know I have the torque specs on the service manual. So yeah, I mean, the bike starts, the bike rides, there's no problem. It has about 12,000 miles, so I have to do a valve clearance as upon Triumph specifications. It's asking for a valve, I mean a 12,000 mile service. So I have the fuel filter. I may not replace, but maybe try and fix the fuel tank because it has plenty of dents. So I'm gonna try and fix it. It's almost low on fuel right now, but I'm gonna drain the oil. By the way, that's a 15W50 oil. I mean, leave it down below in the comment section if you would recommend it or if you have experience. Personally, I have experience with this oil, and to be honest, the gearing is smooth. I have no issues with the oil. So yeah, I'm gonna stop blabbering. I'm not gonna record the process because I'm recording from the phone right now. I'm doing videos from the phone, unfortunately, so I'm not gonna put the phone anywhere, just gonna blabber a little bit, explain a few things, and that's about it. But if you guys have experience like this with the oil filter leaking from the nut bolt, leave it down below in the comment. Let me know your experiences. I would like to hear it. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll switch to a non-bolt oil filter in the future, but I'm gonna give it another try with a high flow filter and let you guys know. By the way, I did about 2,500 miles with this oil, so give or take, I'm not exactly 100% sure how many miles I did, so regardless of it, I'm gonna try and do an oil change because this bike is really fun to ride, even though it's winter right now in New York City. We had like temperatures at 15-20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about like what, maybe like -5 to -8 degrees centigrade or Celsius. So I ride all year long. My girl rides all year long, so we have no issues with that. So on that note, happy new year, and thanks for watching. Consider subscribing and help grow the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Ride safely and stay warm. Bye.